Stephanie from Hidden Illuminations, and I am a modern day mystic and guide. I primarily work in the tarot, and I primarily work specifically with the RWS, the Pamela Coleman Smith art on the Raider White deck. And I also do periodically work with oracle cards, other schools. I'm willing to work with just about anything. I've taken a photo recently of the backs of all of my decks, and I tossed in some for my own entertainment. I think that I could probably pretty. I'm fairly confident to say that I could probably um, do a reading with Cards Against Humanity. So we're gonna take a look at one of my most difficult decks, and that is for those of you who recognize the backs of these cards, that is the Thoth deck. I am not a student of Aleister Crowley, and I am not interested in really hearing any more about that man than I have already. The fact that he was sadistic is enough for me. I don't have room for sadism in any way in my mind. However, I do understand that people who are flawed can bring forth useful items, and that we have to carry lightly a useful item if we carry it with understanding of its source. I think that the artist, who isn't it always a woman artist, honoring Pamela Coleman Smith and the Raider White Coleman Smith deck, but uh, the Lady Freida Harris, who did all of the artwork in the Thoth. Um, and from my understanding, the little white book that I have with this particular Pockets with Tarot deck from US Game System, the little white book actually has Lady Freya Harris has an article that's pretty much like a little white book explanation of the origins and the use of the trumps and the pips that she put the images in that Crowley had gotten from the Golden Dawn. So a lot of honor to I think someone said here that it was not easy for Lady Harris. Her unique art talent and her patience and ability to work with a demanding mentor like Crowley. Anyway, my opinions aside, if I have someone come in and perhaps the clothing that they're wearing reminds me of the image on the back uh, of the Thoth deck, or maybe they're wearing some type of cross that reminds me of it, or if prior to the meeting I'm just thinking about the Thoth deck quite a bit. Uh, I'm drooling when I'm thinking about the Thoth deck and someone coming in for a reading. I'll pull the Thoth deck out because I can separate the tool from the tool who wrote it. But I will try very hard not to have an opinion about the person or the reading. If for some reason it doesn't feel right when I'm in the presence of the person who we're doing the reading, I won't use the deck. I'm not familiar with the images. I think that the images actually will do the work and talk to me the same way as any image would, or any reading that you would do with different artists or different art. I think that it would be quite comfortable to do work uh, if I was focusing on a particular person. I think I could probably look at the image and think about the situation and see. Like here in particular, this card is entitled Worry, and it has the inverted 5 star um, uh, image. And I think that my understanding of the inversion, and forgive me for those who know better, but that when we have a 5 pointed star, that the point of the star goes upward, which is for spirit, and the 2 points downward for matter. So spirit over matter. And if we then reverse the five-pointed star, we have matter over spirit. And I believe that that is the belief system of King Solomon and some of the other folks, probably in the Golden Dawn, but definitely Aleister Crowley, where they were wanting to have power over lower spirits that they wanted to control for their purposes, right? So, I mean, not too difficult to read the artistry that was created by Ms. Harris in Lady Harris in order to please Mr. Crowley's belief system. However, if I had someone in front of me and they said something about a relationship that was difficult and they were cagey about it, I would recognize immediately that I was in the Thoth deck because the person on the other side of this difficult relationship was showing some sadistic qualities. I would very much then focus on, and again, I would have one particular run that would be like, for example, let's get into the cards here. I would probably get to know the person in front of me and, through some questions about what was drawing them in. If their personality was a personality that was particularly maybe sweet and kind of needed some sweetness to them, I think I would probably like maybe use the mystical manga deck, because the images are just sweet and fun. And even in the difficult five of Pentacles, the gal has a frilly dress and a light-hearted feel to it. I mean, it's still strong, but so I would do a reading that would focus maybe not so much past, present, future for a situation like that. I think I would do something along the lines of maybe I would do a what's the highest vibration? What's the more clunky vibration? What's the bridge to someone who maybe was um, represented by the Thoth? And I think then I would, maybe only pull one card for the person on the other side of the relationship. And I would probably just really focus in. This particular one is a Four of Swords, and it's called Truce. And so in that situation, if I had an Empress, Ace of Swords, and Ten of Pentacles, I would then work with the person across from me to say, you have built an entire life and you have everything that you didn't have when you were in a difficult relationship. And the person on the other side, finally, when you have all the cards, is saying, oh, no, let's not fight. We have a truce because you're finally in a position of power. Knowing that I'd use the Thoth deck, that same exact situation out of my mouth with any other deck, I would be saying, great, they know that you're in a position of power. They want to call a truce. And my heart, my personality would be saying, they've finally backed down. They want to call a truce. But because I'm working with the Thoth deck, I know that the other side only wants a truce because they want to have time to buy time to get back in the game, that they're across from someone who is gaslighting them, that the truce will be maintained throughout the divorce, separation, or raising of the children, or whatever. If I know that I've got a masochist on the other side because a masochist created this deck and this deck wanted to be used, spicy, I'm putting up boundaries, I'm warning my client, and I'm asking, it's not just my opinion. I'm saying, is this right? Does this feel right to you? Do you feel like if he gets the upper hand, he takes control, and if he has no hand, he just walks away and never plays again? Or does he hold a grudge? Bet your britches, more than likely, they're going to say he holds a grudge. He's not safe when he's cornered. He's not someone to be trusted when he doesn't have the upper hand. I prefer when he has more control because then he's more maneuverable and malleable. If that's the person I'm working with, I'm like, that's the Thoth deck. That's what that's coming in. And so I get really spicy if I'm working with a deck that says the person on the side of this deck could be masochistic, then I am super protective of my client and going way above the cards. And I will say, this is not, it's not my way to tell you to have opinions and be so strong voiced about this. But we're working across from the Thoth deck, or the person that it represents. So you can see it a little more spicy, get a little worked up, but it's like, I don't want to know, but for one card out of that deck to just know the tiniest whiff of what kind of ugh is coming off the other side of a problem. And so out of the 100 decks that I have, if I pull the Thoth deck, I am not messing around, and it's not a friendly reading. And yes, I have an opinion before you even walked in the room if I'm thinking about the Thoth deck, or it comes out, or it's on my table, or I'm hungry to pull it, or it's just sitting around in case I need to pull it out. Say one negative thing, I'm thinking, no, you've been ridden hard and put up wet way too many times. And so you're just not going to say anything negative, but I can see that. I can taste it. It wafts in the wind like a barbecue that's got something bad on the grill. Anyway, so that's the most difficult deck that I read with, and that's why I keep it and why I read with it. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you next time.
I kind of like that. That was kind of cute.
Okay, that could be it. I'm done.